I want to ask you why we need to go for urination. Means why we need to excrete out urea. Tell me. Why we need to go for urination? Why we, yeah?
To prevent any accumulation of chemicals and other toxic substances in the body.
Yeah. So why we need to excrete out urea? Very simple. Look, try to understand. Normally, the major nutrient which we require for our body, they are the three nutrients, right? Carbohydrate, fat, and protein. Whenever you take a food, you never measure quantity, right? What you need to, like, you don't measure the percentage of fat you are taking, the percentage of protein you are taking, because that is not practically possible, right? So in case, so we take carbohydrate, means sugar, we take fat, means lipid, we take protein, right? Carbohydrate, if you are taking extra carbohydrate, extra than that of your body is required, right? For sake of example, to run out your body for the daily need, or to meet out your daily requirement, you need 100 gram of carbohydrate. But you are, when you are eating chapati, when you are eating other food stuff, you are taking more than 100 gram, right? So what will happen? The more than 100 grams of sugar which you will take, or carbohydrate which you will take, that will be stored into liver, right? Is that clear? And that will be stored into liver in the form of glycogen. So there is arrangement in our body to store the sugar. Yes. The second thing is fat. We require fat for daily need of our body. So in case, fat means lipid. So in case, if you eat extra fat than that of you require for your body, right? So what happened? The extra fat which you eat, that will be stored into adipose tissue, stored in tissues, right? So that the tissues name are the adipose tissue, right? And then the third thing, so there is arrangement of storage of carbohydrate, there is arrangement of storage of the fat, but yes, suppose that the like, not suppose that you require the protein for your running your daily life, to maintain your body and for daily metabolic activities, because most part of the body is made up of protein. The extra protein, if you eat extra protein than that of required for your body, then there is a no arrangement for storage of protein, right? That's why we need to go for urination. Why? So what will happen? You require 20 gram of protein every day to run your body, but you have taken 50 gram. So what will happen with that 30 gram, extra 30 gram? The 20 gram protein will be broken down into amino acid, and that amino acid will be utilized. The rest of the 30 gram, that will also be broken down into amino acid. Extra amino acid. So what is the generic formula of amino acid? This is amino acid formula, right? R COONH2. This R is a alkyl group, means this is a hydrocarbon chain. It may be the any length of the chain, right? What will happen? This extra amino acid, they will be what will happen? The alkyl group, this R, alkyl group will be broken down, right? It will be taken out, and this alkyl group will be converted into sugar. Mind it. What happened with the extra amino acid? These extra amino acid are transported to liver. First thing, right? Those extra amino acid, when transported to liver, alkyl group is broken down from this rest of the functional group, right? This alkyl group will be converted into sugar, right? And then this functional group, CONH2, this will be converted into urea into our liver with the help of urea cycle. And this urea is excreted out for the urine, right? To remove the extra amino acid, right? We do not have mechanism of storage of protein or amino acid. That's why we require to go for urination. Did you got it this point or not?
Mhm.
Got it? Rabia, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So what is the excretion? Tell me, both of you. What exactly the excretion is? The questions in the NEET examination, they are not difficult questions. Rather, they are smart questions. They're simple but very confusing. Believe what. So, what is? Tell me, what is excretion? Any idea?
Metabolic waste.
Removal of metabolic waste. Okay. Rabia, what is excretion? Look, there are multiple type of the waste which are produced in our body, but removal of every waste is not excretion, right? Removal of nitrogenous waste, only removal of nitrogenous waste from our body is called excretion. Whereas the removal of undigested food, stool, or other kind of the thing, that is called defecation. We use the term defecation. So defecation should not be confused with excretion, right? Defecation is different thing, and excretion is exclusively we use defecation term for removal of undigested food, and the excretion is removal of nitrogenous waste from our body, right? So this was the story of the excretion. Fine. So let's come to the question. What is the question? The mode of excretion. This is the question. So there are different mode of excretion. I'll tell you what have been asked, and from this list, the question I have already been asked. So there may be 5 major mode of excretion. First is that the some of the organisms, they produce ammonia as a nitrogenous waste, right? Ammonia is the gaseous form, you know. So those organisms, this you need to note down. Those organisms which remove ammonia as excretory product, right, from their body, we call them ammonotelic, right? Ammonotelic. So ammonotelic are those organisms which are, so how you will judge they are the which organism? Suppose that you got the example, and you will get the question in the form of example only, right? So they won't ask you this kind of the simple question that what we call those organisms which remove ammonia as a excretory product, right? So you will get that question, and the question have been asked from the examples only, from this list. So suppose that if this is a concept which I have concept building part. If any organism is living, you don't know the name of that organism, it is ammonotelic, ureotelic, uricotelic, what is that exam? So suppose that you know that the organism is found in that environment where excess of water is present, then definitely 99.9% that organism will be ammonotelic, right? So ammonotelic organisms are those organisms which are generally found in there where the water is present in excess, right? So the example of ammonotelic, that is the earthworm, leech, and arthropod, right? Arthropods. They are the ammonotelic. Clear? Now the earthworm fall in both ammonotelic and ureotelic. Now, they, like human, we produces the urea, and many of the organisms like us, they produces the ammonia, urea. So those organisms which produces urea as the excretory product, we call them ureotelic, right? They are the organisms which are found in the environment where water is present in moderate amount, right? Not excess of too much water, not too less water, right? Example: earthworm, frog, turtle, and human. So what you need to note down, earthworm have already been asked many times. That's why I have made a star over here. Look, if the water is, please note it down. Please note down this statement. If, for both of you, please, if the water is present in excess, if the water is present in excess around the earthworm environment, if water is present in excess around the environment where earthworm is present, it will be ammonotelic. It will be ammonotelic. Full stop. In the same statement, if the water is moderate, if the water is moderate in environment, if water is moderate in environment, earthworm will behave as ureotelic. Most of the information is written over here. Next, come to the uric acid, right? Those organisms which excrete out uric acid, they are called uricotelic, right? What is the uric acid? Uric acid, so which organism are uricotelic? So basically those organisms which are found in desertic condition, in xerophatic condition, where the water is present in scarcity, right? The scarcity of water is there in a moment. Then they will be excreting out uric acid, right? Uric acid is least toxic nitrogenous waste, right? It is white crystalline substance. Most of the insect and land reptile like snake, bird, lizard, they excrete out the uric acid as excretory product. And this is the substance which is least toxic nitrogenous substance, which is secreted by organism, so they can store it for the longer time. That's why, and they save the water. That's why they excrete out uric acid in the solid form. Is it clear? Tell me. Please note down. Then both of you, please. Those animals which live in dry condition, those organisms which live in dry condition, in bracket please note down xerophatic condition. Those organisms which live in dry condition, that is xerophatic condition, they excrete out uric acid. Full stop. They synthesize crystals of uric acid from ammonia. Underline this statement. They synthesize crystals of uric acid from ammonia. Full stop. Uric acid is crystalline, non-toxic. This statement have been asked as a question in NEET. Uric acid is crystalline, comma, non-toxic and almost insoluble in water. And please note down the example. In example, lizards have been asked, bird have been asked as example, right? Now, aminotelic, there are some organisms which excrete out the ammonia, excrete out the amino acid directly. They are called aminotelic, right? Aminotelic, right? An example is molluscans and echinoderms. And last but not the least, which is the most important, that is there are some organisms which excrete out guanine as a waste product of nitrogen, right? They are called guanotelic, and the example is the spider. Tell me, is it clear or not? This is very important part. These whatever have been underlined or I have made the star, they are the question which have been asked, already asked in medical exam. Tell me, Aisha and Rabia. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So human excretory system, you know that all this system, right? If you have any doubt in this diagram, you can ask me. Else I will skip it because this is important for. This was important for your school exam, not for the. Like, but you must you need this understanding. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Else I'll skip it. Keep on telling me. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Fine. What about this one, this diagram? Is everything clear or you need some explanation?
You can summarize it.
Sorry? Asha,
You can summarize it.
clear? Your voice is not clear to me actually. Okay, someone have texted. Okay, I can summarize. Fine. Look, right. Rabia, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Look, try to understand. This upper covering is called renal fasciola, and below the renal fasciola there is a adipose tissue, right? This is called adipose capsule, and below that there is a renal capsule, right? These are the three covering. What is the function of adipose tissue? Can you tell me? No. Try to understand. Renal fasciola, adipose tissue work like cushion, right? Renal fasciola, adipose tissue, and renal capsule. They are the part which protect kidney from jerk and any kind of the external injury, right? Next, the inner part, it is made up of these kind of the structure. So these major branches, they are called major calyces. Try to understand. So every kidney will have 2 to 3, that you need to note down. Every kidney will have 2 to 3 major calyces, right? And this major calyces, so this is, you can see that this is the major calyces, this is the major calyces, and these major calyces further branch out into minor calyces. So every major calyces will have 7 to 13 minor calyces, right? At the end of minor calyces, there are medullary pyramid, right? Every minor calyces will have 15 to 16 medullary pyramid. This question has been asked. How many medullary pyramids are found, right? So that's why I ask you that, is it clear to you or not? Look, and then these part are called renal column of Berti, right? Try to understand. I have made a sample nephron. This is the sample nephron. Actually, look, actually half of the nephron will be found. Like this pink color structure is called cortex, right? Try to understand. This pink color structure which I have drawn, that is called cortex. Half of the nephron is found in the cortex, and half of the nephron are found in the medullary pyramid part. That is the position of nephron. Blood come to the renal artery. From where the blood is coming, that is a question. Renal artery, that you need to note down, right? How many minor calyces, how many major calyces, how many medullary tubules. Next thing, renal artery supply blood to kidney, right, for filtration. But from where the renal artery is getting the blood, that question I've been asked. Renal artery get the blood from aorta, right? Then renal vein provide or give back you purified blood. where this blood goes to. This blood goes to vena cava, right? These two things you need to note down. Please note it down. Every kidney have 10 lakh nephron, right? And the rate of the filtration of kidney is 1100 to 1200 ml blood per minute. I think it must be fair enough for you. Please note down. You will get the question in the form of the fact which of the following is wrong, which of the following is correct, right? Then you need to require this factual thing. Okay, this is the urinary bladder, right? So I have a question. Which organism do not have urinary bladder? Tell me, Rabia. Tell me the name of organism which do not have a urinary bladder. They don't have process of storing urine. Aisha, note down. Birds do not have urinary bladder. Birds do not have urinary bladder. They excrete out urine in solid form. They excrete out urine in solid form. Right. So these are the inner lining of urinary bladder. So what is that tissue which make the inner lining of urinary bladder? They are made up of transitional epithelium. Fine. Transitional epithelium. Outer wall of urinary bladder. So look, these are the opening of uterus. They open obliquely. That's why it do not require any wall, right? They open obliquely, right? And where they open, that is a triangular structure. This is called trigone, right? Internal sphincter and external sphincter, right? Can you tell me what are the sphincter muscles? Any one of you, both of you. I have a question for both of you. What are the sphincter muscles and what is their function? I have already discussed that in digestive system, sphincter muscles. Tell me. What are the sphincter muscles? No idea? Come on, guys. Sphincter muscle. Aisha, no idea? Rabia, you also don't have any idea? Sphincter muscles?
Sir, is it like a ring-like muscles surrounding? It helps to like contract or close a bodily passage.
You're right. Now you are getting this. We have already discussed that in digestive system. Look, sphincter muscles they'll work like valve, right? Every digestive chamber have sphincter muscles, right? So when food goes from the stomach to the small intestine, it cannot come back, right? Because at the mid of at the joint of stomach and small intestine, there is a valve-like muscle, right? Food can go into intestine, cannot come back, right? So these are the sphincter muscles, right? Sphincter muscles also have a function like in our this food pipe. These muscles they create the movement, right? Because of that movement, food is propelled forward, right? Food goes ahead. That is sphincter muscles. So normally they work like as a wall, right? So sphincter muscle, this is internal sphincter, there is external sphincter, right? When urinary bladder, when urine is filled in urinary bladder, they prevent the leakage of urine, right? What you have to remember, internal sphincter is involuntary. Means it cannot be controlled by your own wish. When you feel that you require to go for urination, then internal sphincter open due to pressure. Why? Because urinary bladder is flat. Internal sphincter open. Then external sphincter is voluntary, right? It is under control of your brain. When you go to urination and you want to release urine, right? On that time, with the command of your brain, you open external sphincter. But they have their limit. If up to a certain pressure, beyond that, if you will hold urine, it will open automatically, right? So you have to note down internal sphincter is involuntary and external sphincter is voluntary. Got it? How it is controlled, we'll discuss that. Nephron, this is the structure of nephron. So our kidney is made up of millions of neuron, means every kidney have 10 lakh nephron. Nephron is functional unit of the kidney. So look, blood comes from here, arteriole from renal artery, means blood come from renal artery. Glomerulus is network like it is a filter which filter out, right? And then arteriole from glomerulus, it goes out, right? And it take away the filtered urine, and they make a network around this nephron. And after that, the filtered blood goes out from the renal vein that we have already discussed. But after the filtration, right, this capsule is called Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule take out the urine, water, and other important substance. Here we do not use urine term for it, right? So whenever this filtrate, so what we term we use? So the excretory material which is taken out from the blood or filtered out from the blood by the glomerulus, we use the term filtrate over here. This filtrate passes through this part. This part is called proximal convoluted tubule, PCT. Proximal means proximity, means near to. So this part is near to Bowman's capsule. That's why this is called PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, right? Then this U-shaped structure is called loop of Henle. One very important thing, this downside loop of Henle, this is permeable to the water, but upside loop of Henle, this is not permeable to water, right? Then whenever this filtrate passes through these structures, so what happened? The important substance are taken away or taken back by the blood, right? And when this filtrate reaches to this part, this is called DCT, distal convoluted tubule, because this is distal means the far or away from the, right, away from the Bowman's capsule. That's what this is called DCT. When it reaches and it joins the collecting duct, right? Then when this filtrate reaches to collecting duct, then only we use the term urine, right? Tell me. Clear? Here is some information. That is PCT is made up of cuboidal epithelium, and DCT is also made up of cuboidal epithelium. Please note it down this way. I think it should be clear to you, both of you. Nephron.
Yes, sir.
Please note down. PCT and DCT is made up of cuboidal epithelium. Again, one of the most important part. Juxtaglomerulus apparatus. The role of renin, role of angiotensinogen, they all have been asked multiple times. I can't tell me how many times. I can't tell you how many times they have been asked. Now, what is JGA? Juxtaglomerulus apparatus. Right? Try to understand. This is afferent part, means urea plus blood goes in. This is efferent part, urea plus blood come out, filtered. This part is called PCT, this DC. So at the joint of efferent, afferent, and DCT, right? So this is the enlarged structure. At the junction or joint of PCT, DCT, afferent, efferent, and DCT, right? There are some cells which have crystalline substance, and I have highlighted it with the yellow and encircled it. These cells are called juxtaglomerular apparatus, JGA, right? They secrete renin, right? Try to understand. So, what is the function of renin? Can you tell me? Renin, I have told you. Let me recall you. Renin, I have taught you in this part of digestive system. So, in the digestive system, there was an enzyme. The name of that enzyme was renin. Can you tell me what is the function of renin over there? Let me check your revision part. How much you have revised? Both of you. Yes, Rabia.
It helps to regulate the blood pressure.
Come on, digestive system. In digestive system, it do not that have nothing to do with the blood circulation. Rennet tablet are used in the making of cheese. It means you are not you people are not revising properly. Please keep on revising. Keep on revising. Then you will be able to, because you know human physiology is the important part. You will get the question from human. If you do if you will complete your human and plant physiology part, it means you have completed more than 50% part of the syllabus of the 11th class, because the 50% of the question from the 11th syllabus come from this part only. Yeah, I'm sure 10 question you will get from human physiology and 10 question you will get minimum 10 question you will get from plant physiology part, definitely, for sure. Look, renin is secreted in the children only. This is the enzyme, digestive enzyme, which is secreted in children. When we grow up or we become adult, in adult and old age people, it is not secreted. This is the enzyme which is secreted at young age and at childhood. When a child grow up, secretion of this enzyme stop. The function of renin is to digest the milk protein in young ones, in young children, right? And then this function is taken over in further when we grow up, when we become adult. This function is taken by the pepsin, right? So that's why the function of renin stops over there. So renin is enzyme as well, and the renin is hormone. Here the renin is working as hormone. This renin is responsible for, right? Renin convert into angiotensinogen, right? Angiotensinogen is an inactive form of angiotensinogen is inactive form of angiotensinogen convert into angiotensin, right? Angiotensin is active form. Try to understand. Renin is responsible for secretion of angiotensin, angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen is inactive form. Angiotensinogen converted into angiotensin. It is active form. Angiotensin is responsible for increasing the blood pressure. That is the function of it. Got it? But I know you will forget it. So preferably, I would like you to note it down. Do you want to note it down? Tell me. Or you will remember it. Come on, tell me quickly. Don't take that much time. Do you want to note it down? Tell me, come on, quickly. You don't
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Please note down. Put a note. This is very, very important. I can't tell you how many times this question happens. Right. Take the screenshot of this one as well to recall you when you and in case if you want, you can make this diagram as well. Please note down after the class. Renin is an enzyme. Note, renin is, put the heading JGA. Renin is an enzyme which act as hormone here. Renin is an enzyme for sake of your recalling, understanding, you can note it down. This enzyme digest milk protein in children. Renin is an enzyme which act as hormone here. Full stop. It is secreted by JGA. Full stop. Renin convert angiotensinogen. Renin convert angiotensinogen into angiotensin, right? Angiotensinogen into angiotensin, which is found in our blood. Full stop. The angiotensin increases blood pressure. Right? So this was JGA, and fine. I think it should be clear to both of you. It was simple, right? But you need to remember it. It's very important. Mechanism of filtration. Look, this diagram is more than sufficient. I have made it for the only NEET examination. This was not meant for the CBSE students. Look, this diagram is more than sufficient to explain complete filtration process. Take the screenshot of this one, and I hope you will draw it in your notebook. It seems a bit difficult, but it's not that much difficult. Let me tell you. Let me explain. Right. Then take the screenshot and note down in your notebook. This is my humble request that if you will note it down, you will never miss any question from the filtration part. And yes, you will get the question from this part. This is the most important part which we are going to discuss. Look, as I have told you that this is a nephron. Half of the nephron is found in the cortex part. This part, cortex part. So I have drawn a broken line. This broken line represents that the upper half part, that is found in the cortex part, and the lower half of the nephron, this is found in the medulla part. You can see this is found in the medulla. So afferent tubule from where the blood comes in, and efferent from where the blood goes in. I have told you that they filter this glomerulus, it filter, and whatever it filter, that is called filtrate. Filtrate goes to the PCT. When it goes to the PCT, what is absorbed? Look, sodium and potassium taken by active transport. This question have been asked. I have already made the start, right? Here you need to understand and take the screenshot, and after class, please note down in your notebook. So sodium and potassium is taken by active transport, means energy. 65% useful things are absorbed at the PCT only, absorbed by diffusion, right? What is taken back, because filtrate have many useful things. Along with the urea, there are many useful things. Those useful things should not go as a waste. So sodium is potassium is absorbed, chloride is absorbed, sodium is absorbed, hormone is absorbed, glucose is absorbed, amino acid is absorbed, and water is absorbed. Whatever I have highlighted, that is that thing you need to note down, right? Then this filtrate reaches to this part, loop of Henle, right? In loop of Henle, here water is taken back from the filtrate. It is reabsorbed. This is called descending limb of loop of Henle. This is called ascending limb. Ascending limb is impermeable for water. This question has been asked many times. Ascending limb is impermeable for water, but yes, this is permeable for salt, NaCl, right? Then filtrate reaches to DCT. In DCT, when it reaches to the DCT, sodium is absorbed. This is very important question. Sodium is absorbed, reabsorbed actively under the influence of aldosterone, right? Active absorption of sodium takes place under the influence of aldosterone hormone, and aldosterone hormone is secreted from the cortex of adrenal gland. That I have underlined. I have mentioned everything over here. You need to remember this is question, guys. Then water is reabsorbed under the influence of ADH hormone, antidiuretic hormone, right? Absorption of water takes place. From where the ADH is secreted? From posterior pituitary. I have written over here only, right? Then filtrate reaches to connecting tubule, right? When filtrate reaches to connecting tubule, we start using urine term here. Even this question I've been asked, when we use the urine term, right? In connecting, this is called collecting. This is connecting duct. This is called collecting duct. In collecting duct, sodium is again reabsorbed under the influence of aldosterone, right? Then this is collecting duct. Again, sodium is absorbed, and then the urine is collected. So this was the complete filtration. Go through with it and tell me if you have any doubt at any point. Tell me. And tell me, did you got it or not? But I also want your confirmation. Both of you. Feel free to ask me if you have any doubt. But this complete chart is very important. And whatever I have highlighted with this water blue color, so you need to, this thing you need to be in your mind. Then else you will miss the question. Tell me, go through with it and tell me if you have any doubt. Rabia and Asha, both of you.
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, fine. So hope you have taken the screenshot and you will draw it after the class.
Yes.
Because you won't find this diagram in book. That is for sure. Micturition, that is a release of urine. Yes, there are something which is important. Sphincter, I have already told you. So urinary bladder is controlled by, so urine start filtrate out, and it is start getting collected in urinary bladder. There are sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve. Sympathetic nerve, it is responsible for contraction and it relaxes the urinary bladder, right? This is autonomous nerve, right? Parasympathetic, this is responsible for relaxing, right, of a sphincter, and this is responsible for contraction of uterus. Look, urinary bladder. Sorry. What happened? Sympathetic nerve is called nerve of filling. Try to understand. This question I've been asked. Sympathetic nerve is called nerve of filling. Why? It will be responsible for contraction of sphincter. Sphincter will be contracted, so urine will keep on filling over here. That's why sympathetic nerve is called nerve of filling. It will relax the uterus, so volume will increase and wall remains closed. So urine will get filled over here. That's why this is called nerve of filling. Parasympathetic is called nerve of emptying. Now urinary bladder is full. Now what will happen? It will relax the sphincter, right? Means relax the sphincter will open, right? And what it will be responsible contraction of urine, urinary bladder. So pressure will be generated, and then what will happen? Internal sphincter will open, right? Then this is the external sphincter is controlled by somatic nerve, right? This is voluntary. We have already discussed that. So you need to remember which is the nerve of filling and which is the nerve of emptying. Sympathetic nerve is called nerve of filling and parasympathetic is called nerve of emptying. This question I've been asked many times. Tell me, is it clear or not? This is neural control of urinary bladder. How our brain controls the urination process. Aisha and Rabia, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Great. Please note down those sympathetic and parasympathetic. Very, very important. Not important, very, very important. Dialysis, you know what is the dialysis part. So not that much important. So this was all about this chapter. Next class, you need to make me remind that we will do some questions, right? Next class, first we will do some questions, previous year questions, some different questions, and then we will go ahead in the next chapter. Tell me if you have any doubt in this chapter. I'll tell you. Yes, Aisha and Rabia, if you have any doubt, please ask me. Go through with your NCRT or the questions you have. Any doubt, any question?
No, sir.